how I do my brass work, right? So here at the Resplendent Crow, we're known for beautiful brass details on our stain grade furniture and our high gloss lacquered furniture. Go to resplendentcrow.com and you guys can see all the furniture that I'm talking about. But what we're gonna do today is we're gonna look into polishing brass, right? This is rough brass, right? It's got an oxidized finish on it. It's gonna have scratches in it. So I'm gonna show you guys how to get all that stuff out and turn it into beautiful, brilliant brass. So also, we've got radiuses along here. I'm gonna show you guys how to sand brass and create the kind of shapes you want on it, and then polish it as well to have that beautiful, brilliant luster that people kind of love. So other things that I got for you guys, I got a whole bunch of different back plates. We got a lot of handles. I got all kinds of fun stuff to show you. So we make our own campaign style hardware, right? We sell all the stuff at resplendentcrow.com, but we make all this stuff. This particular handle goes on one of my what I call the most beautiful desk in the world. You guys, I got a video on my YouTube channel about how I make that desk and how I polish my brass as well. You can see a little bit of that on there. Some of the other things that we make here, we make a lot of brilliant, again, back plates. We sell a ton of these. We get these all laser cut in India. We then bring them back here, and a lot of times you have to polish them because of the quality that you get from the third world. So that's why we're so good at doing brass work. So again, see all the scratches, right? You got a little bit of a shine on there, but it's nothing like what we produce here at the Resplendent Crow. So last couple things, we get little things like knobs in. And again, I'm gonna try and use the light as best I can to show you guys how this is done. But you'll see scratches, you'll see all kinds of, and it has it's a decent shine, but we're gonna give it a lot better shine. So I'll show you guys the equipment that I use, the sandpapers that I use, the polishes that I use. And again, this live stream is meant to be evergreen content. It's meant to be something that's gonna be always out there for people to use if they want to see how I do this, right? And again, through every step of this process, I'm gonna go through what I do. I'll come back and I'll answer questions. We can do comments on here. I'm happy to interact with people as I do this process. But this is a video that's meant to show you guys how I do this stuff in real time, because the truth is that most people on YouTube, they spend just hours and hours trying to create video, and they fix things and they fuck things up, and then they go and they fix it and they fix it and they fix it, and we don't do that here. I'm just gonna show you guys exactly how I do it, because this is a real shop where we do real business. We're not making content for the sake of making content. I'm showing you guys how to do stuff that I've actually sold that we actually do here, okay? So other things we got here, nitrile gloves. I use a lot of nitrile gloves because working with brass is a very dirty process. So I recommend using these things called Raven gloves. I don't sell them, nothing like that. It's just, these seem to be the best ones. They're gonna be 7 mil, which is kind of what you want. So if you're ever looking for nitrile gloves, like look for something that's got that 7 mil to it, because it's gonna be a little bit thicker, lasts a little bit longer. And again, it's what we use here. We use boxes of rags, right? So we buy big boxes of white rags. They come in something like this. Got tons of them, we're gonna need lots of that. We're gonna use sanding blocks, right? I use a ton of these Durablocks. So we're gonna use a lot of sanding blocks. We're gonna sand all this stuff. We're gonna use soapy water, right? We need something that's kind of lubricated so we can sand our brass, right? Truth is that brass is not flat, guys. Even when it comes in from the factory, it's been extruded and it has mill marks in it. So we got to get all that stuff out, because the more highly polished you make something, the more important it is to have it be dead flat. Otherwise you see it all, right? So we're gonna use that. We're gonna use a buffing gun, right? This is a Milwaukee buffing gun. These things are badass. I recommend getting them. The other things we're gonna use, we got lots of sandpapers. So I use tons of rolls of sandpaper. So some of the sandpapers we're gonna use 320, we're gonna use 600, we're gonna use 800, we're gonna use 1,000, okay? So it takes scratches out. These sandpapers are really helpful. Just they're PSA rolls of sandpapers. We use them in all different kinds of grits. I just got tons of this stuff in my stock room. So that's kind of what that is. We're gonna use, again, little rolls. They come in like this, pretty cool. We're gonna use different kinds of 6-inch sandpaper that has hook and loop on the back. So, and the reason we're gonna do that is because a lot of times when I'm doing this work, I use this little pad, right? This is made by 3M. You can buy these on Amazon, they're cheap. You can put hook and loop stuff on here, peels off, peels on. So, take it like so. Just throw it on there, bam, you can just go to town, pull it off, put other pieces on. They're cool little gadgets that I like to use when I'm working on my brass. So, we got that. We got some Mirka 1000 grit paper. People seem to just love when I show them kind of the sandpapers that we use. So in case you guys want to know, there's a number for it. So really good stuff. So yeah, so that's what we're going to use. We've got a lot of, these are going to be our buffing compounds, right? So I'll show you guys how to use the wheel, how we use these different kinds of buffing compounds and what we use them for, the different kinds of wheels that we use, so that you guys kind of understand the process of getting this brass to be like a mirror shine. And it's not that difficult, guys. It is kind of dirty. You know, it does take elbow grease. There's not a lot of great automated ways to do this work. So anyway, with that being said, I think I've shown you guys all I want to show you at this point. We got Nazar back in here. He's going to be cutting out materials and making all kinds of noise, so hopefully the microphone will help muffle some of it. You guys will just hear me. But I'm going to work right here on this bench that I got here, okay? And I've got another camera set, or another tripod setup over here. I'll move my camera around to give you guys the best angle. So again, if you guys are in the stream, hit the like button, ask all your questions that you want, and I will, like I said, as I'm working through this process, I will answer any questions you guys have. And this is kind of fun. I enjoy doing the live streams and showing you guys how we do our work here at the Resplendent Crow with all of our furniture. So let's dig into it. So first thing, obviously, I'm gonna get some gloves. I'm gonna get some metal here. So other things we use, we're gonna use some tapes. We'll end up using things like double-sided tape. We use various different things. And what I'm gonna do is I'll start with something fairly simple, right? We'll give you guys a big, we'll start off with one of these plates, right? So if you see this plate, see all those scratches and all that shit that's in it? Brass is really soft, right? You can put water on brass, it doesn't affect it one bit. Brass is basically immune to water. It's like stainless steel, it doesn't corrode, it doesn't do anything. Brass does oxidize, right? So the minute you start working with it, you get to that beautiful shine, it will start to oxidize. So it's very important that you either wax it with like paste wax, or you lacquer. Lacquering is very common, so lacquered brass. I think we've all heard of that. So, all right, so here's where we'll start for the basics of our little tutorial here. So we're gonna start with some high grit sandpaper. So because, again, our piece of brass has all those little scratches on it, I wanna work some of that stuff out. So what I'll do is I'm gonna start with something, because they're not super deep scratches, they look like a lot more superficial. We'll start out with something that's kind of high, like, let's start out with a 600 grit. Okay, and the technique on how we sand things is really important. So give me just a second, guys. I'm gonna change my camera. I'll show you guys exactly what I'm doing. Technique is wildly important. Take this off. Again, Durablocks, these things are awesome. What I tell people about Durablocks and 3M sandpapers is the adhesive that's on the back of the paper is the most important thing. When you buy cheap paper, you're getting cheap adhesive. The sandpaper is pretty much the same quality. It's the adhesive that allows you to take something off, put it right back on, take it back off, put it right back on consistently. That's what you're paying for when you buy an expensive sandpaper. It's not necessarily the sandpaper itself. It's that adhesive, man. 3M is just the best. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. To get you guys where you get a better angle down here. I'm gonna come down here on my workspace. And again, guys, I talk fast when I'm doing this. So this is where we're gonna be. This is our sanding block. And then we're gonna have our soapy water. The other thing I like to do is, this is double-sided tape, guys. So I sell this at the modernwoodburner.com. I've never really tried to sell it to anybody, but it is there, just so you know. But any double-sided tape will work. So I'll put down a couple of strips of this stuff, and all this is gonna do is kind of hold it in place. Take that off like so, take this off like so. We'll take that thing in there, just kind of put it on there. All right, take a little bit of water. A little water in there like so. And again, I'll get that a little bit closer for you guys. And again, if you guys need help with camera angles or anything like that, like, please feel free to let me know. I take constructive criticism quite well. All right, so we'll come down kind of like so. All right, so what I'm doing is I got my paper right here. I'm trying to make sure I can see you guys when I'm doing this. The thing you need to understand is that when you're sanding, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. You just want to go front and back, front and back, front and back. It's kind of what you're trying to go for. You don't have to be perfect, but that's kind of what you want to do, right? And you can see we're putting all kinds of scratches in there, right? Which is fine. I'm not worried about that. But you can already see, let me get some if I wipe this off, you can already see how inconsistent the finish is. It's not flat. So you can tell that we're hitting the outside, we're not hitting the inside. And this is one of the things that leads to brass not being super shiny, okay? All right, so continuing. And now we're starting to make a little bit of progress. And again, brass is soft, guys, so it actually sands pretty well. Another thing is you can machine brass, right? You can run it on a router bit, you can cut it on a table saw. You do need the right blade, which is going to be something like an 84 tooth blade, but it does cut pretty well. All right, so again, see the dirt? Sand this, or excuse me, wipe this thing down. And again, I don't know how well this is showing. I hope this is showing okay, guys. See if I can, maybe I get you a better angle. Here we go. Let's try that angle. So you can see that we still have a couple of superficial scratches in here. So I'm going to continue to work this with my 600 for just another minute or so. I'll knock these scratches out, and then we're going to work up to 800, then 1,000, and then we'll start the buffing process, okay? So it seems like this might be the best angle. So let's go for that. All right, just a couple more. And again, I'm always telling you guys, don't go like this. Don't go in all different directions. Pick one direction and go for it. Stay with that direction. It makes your life easier. So I'm actually working on these particular areas that I need to get just a little bit deeper. I'm kind of trying to focus my sanding on them. And I got one kind of over here. Sand this stuff off here. All right. So we got out most of the superficial scratches. I got one more right here, so let's hit that one. And then we'll move up to our next grit. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna look at comments as soon as I'm done with this little sanding process right here. And then we'll answer questions and continue on with the live stream. So I hope everyone's having a good morning. So it's Tuesday. We've got a lot of projects going on here at the Crow. We're making tons of furniture. I got a new CNC router showing up next week. And so I'm running power. I'm making sure I got vacuum systems going. And it's going to be a busy week. So, all right. So we got pretty much all the scratches out. There's a couple more. Okay, so let's dig into comments real quick. And we'll continue on. So again, appreciate everyone meeting this morning. Okay, so what we got here, comments we got coming in. So we got, who's this? Lord Alcatraz 2000. What grit is that sanding paper? Okay, so the sanding paper that we're starting with, because we're trying to get out any of the scratches, right? So the deeper the scratches, the lower the paper. I will go down as low as 320, right? If I had to go to 80 grit, I would, but 320 is usually fine. But I'm starting with 600 here in this case because the scratches are kind of superficial. They're not super deep. So I started with 600. I'm going to sand down until I get most of the visible scratches out that I want to get out. Then we're going to move up to 800, then we'll move to 1,000. Now, you can go up. You can go clear up to 3,000 if you want. It makes polishing a little bit easier, but I don't find it to be necessary. So 1,000 is good. 1,500 maybe is the max, you know. So that's where we're at. So 600, lose our 600 grit. Then I'm going to go up to, we're going to go up to 800 or 1,000, whatever I got in here. Okay. So this is this next paper. This is Finish Line, right? So this is called Klingspor paper, right? So if you get on Google or whatever, type in Klingspor, you'll find out this is a sandpaper company. They sell a cheaper grade of paper. It's fine. It's not the best paper in the world, but they do sell a higher end one, which is going to be their purple stuff. This is kind of the mid tier. Their cheap shit is going to be the tan stuff. There's like a tannish yellow. So anyway, this is pretty good stuff. I use it. It's moderately priced, but you'll see it sometimes called Finish Line, but really it's the company Klingspor. So Google it, use them. So again, this is hook and loop, but I'm gonna go ahead and use it on my regular block, right? So I just throw it on there kind of like so. Get paper back on my thing here. And again, we'll go through a few more comments. We got Randy Holbrook's in here. Randy Holbrook, 9604, 600. Okay, yeah, he filled me. Appreciate that. Okay, Jordan. Oh, excuse me. Lord Alcatraz 000. What's being made? Okay, dude, you have to fill me in there on what exactly you're talking about. So let's continue the process. I'm going to do the 800. I'll do the 1,000, and then we'll move on to the buffing side. And Alcatraz, let me know exactly what you're talking about by what's being made, and I'll fill you in. So, all right, take our camera, and I'm going to put it down one more time. And again, I don't know if this is good content, guys, but people seem to really like the live streams. I'm trying to show people how it is that I do this work, because I think more people would probably want to do it. It's a little intimidating, but if we can teach people how to do this stuff, you know, then again, more people can do it. Now, I was telling you guys before, brass really machines pretty well. I regularly run router bits on my brass, which is how I created the angle that I have, or excuse me, the radius that I have here on that piece. And again, I'll show you guys how I sand that stuff. But anyway, so just a little bit of sanding here with this 800 grit. Doesn't take very much because we did most of the work with the 600. So now you can see that it's starting to become even more like matte colored. but it's becoming very consistent. There's a lot less scratches in there. So now we'll lose the 800, and now we're going to grab some 1000, and the 1000 is going to be our iridium Mirka paper. Grab a sheet, looks kind of like so. Again, hook and loop on the back side. And same deal, add water, soapy water, and we'll use our block. And again, I could use the pad. You know, I think the pad would probably be okay, but again, I'm trying to keep things nice and flat, and the Durablock's just gonna be flatter. I mean, it's just kind of what it boils down to. Sorry, so last sanding on this piece, and then we'll move over to our buffing. Actually, now that I think about it, I may do the 1500, but we'll see how this looks. It probably isn't necessary. And again, you'll feel that as you move into the higher grits, it starts to actually get more difficult to sand because you're getting the vacuum effect, right? The surface is getting flatter and flatter. And as it gets flatter and flatter, again, there's less oxygen, or excuse me, less air in there, and it again creates that, you know, what I think is called that vacuum effect. All right, so that's that part. I'll wipe her off one more time. And now you guys will see what we're left with, which is something that's starting to look like, you know, a polished piece of brass, right? So I may have to go get a putty knife, guys. Hold on one second. I'll jump back into comments. Let me grab a putty knife and we'll prop this thing off. So it's good. I'm glad I got mics. I can still talk while I kind of walk away here. Of course, there's no putty knife to be found because why would there be? So we'll use a little saw. See if our little saw will do it. This is one of the things about going live. It's like you just gotta wing it. which is kind of why I like it. I think a lot of the content's going to move over from everyone having these perfectly, you know, produced videos, and it's going to move over to more of the live forum stuff. You're going to find out exactly who really does the work and who is like really good at, you know, producing videos. So okay, so what we got here. Let me get in the light here. Trying to use the best light I can. So here's what we're left with. Okay, this is 1000 grit. Now you can see all the scratches are gone. Right, there's not a ton of shine, right, which is what our buffing wheel is going to take care of. But it's very clean, it's very consistent, and again, wildly flat. Now, it didn't take much to really flatten this product out. So, okay, let's get into more comments. So it looks like this is Almighty Flacco's in here. Almighty, glad you're here, man. Hang out, guys. If you're in the stream, hit the like button. It really helps to kick this out to more people. More people want to learn this kind of stuff. Okay, this is Noib U9M, I guess. Finally a stream that's doing something productive. Yeah, again, that's why I do these. I'm trying to do a stream at least once a week that shows people how to make furniture, how to work with metal, maybe how to paint, right? We do high gloss lacquer coating. If you guys go to SplendidPro.com, you'll see that we just sell furniture. I'm not trying to sell you guys courses. I'm not telling you how to get rich. I'm not trying to teach you guys, you know, how to sell gold and none of that shit. I don't do any of that. It's just furniture, and it's open to anybody that wants to buy it. That's all I talk about. That's all I sell. Okay, but anyway, so there we are. It's looking good. So now we're going to move on to the buffing process, right? So we'll move over to the buffer. I'll show you guys the pads. I'll show you, or excuse me, the wheels. I'll show you the different compounds we use, and then show you guys how I do something, because it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, the worst thing is that it catches the wheel and throws it across the room or something like that. So it's really, it looks dangerous, but it's obviously not. Okay, Lorcan Alcatraz. This brass is being polished for a reason. I was just wondering what is going to be it attributed. Oh, okay, cool. So that's a great question, Alcatraz. So if you guys go on the Modern Woodrunner on YouTube, you guys will do a search for the most beautiful desk in the world. And all of the brass that I put on that desk it's not like this, it's like this. So it's a desk that I sell for about $20,000. It looks like a Steinway piano. We polished it up to where you can do your makeup in it if you're a chick. But every piece of brass is polished up just the way I'm showing you guys. It's all hand sanded. It's all polished up to a brilliant shine. So I sell this to a lot of celebrities. I sell this to a lot of politicians, okay? Same thing with this brass. This brass is all over that same desk, and all the machining is done in that video. All the polishing is done in that video, and it just show you guys how we make our furniture here at the Resplendent Pro. So I do this to, I do the videos on my furniture so that I can show my customers, right? So when the customers want to know exactly how we do things, they have a video, they have a way to see it. And this is part of what we call like, know, and trust, right? So what we're trying to do as a business is we try and show people how we do things because they want them to like us, right? They want us to trust us, that when they spend a ton of money with me, they know that we're making things by hand, right? We make all of our furniture right here in St. Louis, Missouri. We don't farm it out to China or Vietnam or what a lot of these other companies do. It's all made right here in St. Louis with American workers using American plywoods and American hardwoods. And it's a cool way to make money. So, okay. Let's go, and then we'll dig back into comments. So now we're gonna go ahead and do the buffing side. And again, depending on how many people we have in the stream, I'll do more pieces of brass if you guys want. It just kind of depends on how many people want to see more of this content. And the more people that we get in here that want to see this stuff, the more I'll do. So again, hit the like button, add to the discussion, and we'll continue doing this thing, okay? So I'm gonna try and, you know what, guys, give me just 1 second. I think the light's gonna be better if I kind of move everything a little bit closer to the door over here. It's just, I think it's just better. That natural light is amazing. So we got all of our tools here. We got our compounds, different compounds. This is for cleaning your wheel, by the way. So it's got some, you guys can see it's got some teeth on it. This is how you get the old compound off the wheel and get your new compound on the wheel. So I'm sure it has a name, but I'm not a super technical guy. So. Okay. So I think this is going to give you guys a much better view as to what's going on here. I think the lighting's going to be a lot better. Okay, so we've got a couple different things going on here. And so what this is this is an Eastwood buffer, okay? It's just a 1 horsepower unit. It looks like it's, pretty monstrous, but it's not. This is kind of your average buffer, okay? This is going to be, I believe it's an 8-inch or a 10-inch, I forget. Let me get my tape measure here. Okay, these are 10-inch wheels, okay? So these are going to be, this is a 10-inch buffer, 1 horsepower motor. It's multi-speed, right? So we can control how fast the motor goes, which I think is really important. The thing you need to understand about this is the thing that I didn't know when I first started buffing that you guys will know, and this will be super helpful, is that you can buy these wheels in different thicknesses, right? So when I was first buying these things, I bought these little tiny things, and I guess you're supposed to stack them. And man, it sucked trying to buff stuff. You got this little tiny strip of buffing wheel, so you can buy thick wheels. So look for wheels that are gonna be at least 2 inches thick. It makes your life so much easier because as you're moving that material over that wheel, there's no chance for it to fall off the side, right? You have a lot of contact area, or contact patch, whatever you wanna call it. So we've got 2 different wheels here, okay? And again, let me move my camera back. I can't get everything in here for you guys. There we go. There's a good angle. So we got one wheel that's going to be more aggressive, right? This is going to take out your deeper scratches. And then we have more of our polishing side, which is going to be more for adding that brilliance to your brass, right? Really opening up the clarity of the brass, okay? So we'll dig into this. One thing I do need to do is I do want to put a clamp on here. Otherwise, we're going to end up with a wheel that's moving around a bunch. So one of the first things that we're going to do is we're going to clean our wheels. We're going to make sure that we have no old compound on here, we have no hard compound on here. We always want to use fresh compound as we're moving our brass through. So let me grab a clamp real quick. Like I said, guys, thank you for bearing with me, trying to do this stuff live. I do the best I can to prepare for the most part, but you gotta forget something. So 2 clamps is actually ideal, but we're just going to start with 1 and see if we can make this thing work since we're not going too crazy. Get this thing kind of on the edge. The best way to do this is to put your buffer on the corner of a bench, and it seems to be that's where you get, the wheel is not over anything. You generally don't want anything under your wheel if you can help it, because if something gets sucked up under there, obviously you're going to run into a potential pinch point or getting something caught in there, and that's no good. But I'm pretty confident I can manage, so we're gonna wing it here. So all right, turn our wheel on. So we've got low setting, we've got a high setting. We'll start on low. And the wheel goes on. It's nice and easy. Now the cleaning tool, right? See it's got all these teeth all over it, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run that on here, get rid of all the old shit. So again, nice and clean. It's not gonna pull on you too hard, but it just cleans that wheel out. And you guys I just rock it back and forth. Make sure the wheel's nice and clean. Again, the wheel, you can touch the wheel. It's not gonna hurt you. People like to flip out. You're fine. Not the end of the world. Then we'll go ahead, we're gonna clean the other side as well. And again, now we just have a nice clean surface to work with, and that's kind of what I'm aiming for, okay? So, next thing is we gotta have some compound on there, right? Just like with polishing a car, just like with polishing paint, whatever, you got to have the compound, which has just a little bit of like silica in it, or it's have a little bit of aggregate like sand almost, and that is what is doing the work, right? The compound essentially just holds that stuff in there, and that's all we're doing. So we've got different compounds. We've got, depending on what your material you're working on, some of your compounds are going to be good for things like steel. Some are going to be good for the aluminum and brass. There's obviously hardnesses on all of your materials. So everything I'm using is basically for soft metals, right? So this is going to be the compound that we're going to start with. And I forget, it starts with a T. I forget the name of it. It's going to be the one that we're going to start with. Tripoli, right? So actually there's a really helpful thing right here. So it's called Tripoli, right? This is your Tripoli compound, and this is the one that's going to do the most cutting, so to speak, and we're going to use that on our aggressive side of our wheel, okay? Now, what kind of wheel is this? I believe it's called a Cyosol, is what the actual wheel itself is called. So let me get us to an angle here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Tripoli compound, and I'm just going to basically just touch it, right? I'm just letting it grab the compound, move it back and forth like I'm doing like so, right? And you can see it's taking up just a little bit of it there. And now we're ready to cook. So let's hit comments real quick, and then we'll dig into this. All right, comments coming in. Okay, let's see here. All right, here we go. So we got, okay, Lord Alcatraz already answered your question. This is, let me get your name here. This is Rex Delivers, I guess 3160. Okay, call variable speed. That's a polisher. Should know they come in sizes, of course. Okay, well again, this stream isn't for experts. It's not for. It's just for anybody. It's for everybody. It's for people that know literally nothing. I'm acting like no one knows anything, and that's what the stream's about. So, okay, stupid, not a pro, yo, electric, yo, hard mount. Okay, again, God. Okay, so we got the safety bro in here. Okay, that's cool. All right, so. Rex, hey man, like when do we, let's go watch your live stream, man. Post it up here and all of us will go watch it, okay? So thanks for getting in the comments. So, okay, so here we go. So what we're gonna do is turn our wheel on. And again, see what we kind of got there. We got a really consistent looking piece of metal, okay? So we're gonna take this, we're gonna start working it like so. And again, what I find is that you don't generally want to turn, you want to kind of go with the same direction on everything. So we're gonna continue to work this thing. And what's going to happen is you're going to get heat, right? As this metal is being polished, obviously you're going to generate lots of heat. And again, you don't have to worry about touching. It's not going to kill you to touch this thing. A lot of people, I think, freak out about that. It's not a big deal. But it is a flat surface, so you do need to be careful not to grab a corner or something like that. You definitely want to be careful of that. But you guys see, so now we're immediately starting to get a really nice shine, right? So you guys see that in the light? Okay, immediately starting to get a really beautiful shine. So we'll take a little bit of fabric here. Wipe this bad boy off. And again, you're seeing a lot of the compound on here. So we wipe that off just with a little bit of, you guys see that, right? Look at that. Now you're starting to get a brass that's worth some real money, right? You're starting to add value to something that you buy from another country. Like obviously we have these made in India, but they come in not looking that great. They don't have very good quality over there. So again, we're taking the time to make this stuff brilliantly, and now you can sell it for whatever, 50, 60 bucks a pop, which is what we do. So, all right, so I'm gonna continue on here. And again, you don't need to put compound on here a ton. Just, you'll kind of feel it as the compound starts to wear off of the wheel. You'll feel it get, what's the word I'm looking for? You'll feel like almost want to grab just a little bit, you know? So, all right, continuing on. And all I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to get up to the, basically where the center hole is, right? If I get up to there, I'm pretty good. Just rotate it, continue to work this thing. And again, you'll feel it starting to get warm. And then continue to work this thing. You're starting to see that we're getting the brilliance that kind of everybody wants. Okay. Yeah, I feel it getting warm, so I add just a little more compound. And if it gets super warm, you can blow it off with an air hose, or just let it set and work on something else. But it will definitely get warm. So then this is the part of the process where you guys are just gonna have to kind of hang out and just kind of let me do my work here. There's no real fast way to do this, but I will try and communicate and not let everything go super quiet. So again, still doing more, but you guys are starting to see it's getting more brilliant. Now we're kind of getting to the point where we need to get into the middle, okay? So I'm gonna reach out, basically gonna grab on the sides a little bit more as I kind of let the wheel get to the center. And again, I'm just being very cognizant not to let the wheel grab anything. It's the only thing I really care about, and I'm making sure it doesn't get so hot that it, you know, burns the shit out of my hands. So now you could absolutely speed this wheel up, and the work will go faster, and you will get more of a shine. But for purposes of doing the video, I don't think that that's super helpful, which is one of the reasons I'm only using the slow speed. It just takes more time, and that's okay. So just a little bit more of our compound. I've been doing this for almost 10 years at this point, making furniture for people and high gloss lacquering furniture here. We literally started this company in a garage right here in St. Louis, a little 1.5 car garage. The garage was covered in paint. The house was covered in paint. There was prime furniture and painted furniture all over the place. The whole house smelled like paint constantly. The garage was covered. The driveway was covered, and it was time to get the hell out of there. So we grew this business from that little 1.5 car garage into a little bit of an automotive shop. And then from the automotive shop, we ended up going into the building that we're in now. We took about 2,000 square feet to start, and now we've got almost 15,000 square feet, you know. So just continue to grow this thing over the years. It's turned into a great business. And again, me and my wife, we've been doing this for 10 years. We got 8 employees. And we ship furniture all over the country, and again, all made right here in St. Louis. So, okay, so we're polishing. You guys see we're getting a really brilliant shine on. You can still see we use the light. You can still see we got some marks. So now we're gonna clean all that stuff up. We're gonna use the other side, and that's gonna get out these higher grit scratches, basically. You know, so we do just a tiny more polishing, and then we're done, guys. And again, if you guys want to see more buffing, I'm happy to do it. It just kind of depends on what people need to do. I got a bunch of other things to do, but like I said, I try to do one of these streams a week and show people how it is that we do our work, and again, answer people's questions and interact with people so they kind of see that you know, there's real businesses out there that do real work, and it's not all made overseas. There's a lot of us that don't sit in offices, and we make real products. So anybody can do this stuff. All right, so that I think is about as much as we're going to get out of this thing right at the moment. So again, much more of a brilliant shine. Again, I don't know if I can get myself in there. I guess I can try. There you go. See, find the camera, right? So you guys see the clarity. The clarity increase is awesome, right? But again, there are superficial scratches there. We need to continue to get that stuff out. But you guys can see me in the camera, right? This is what we're going for, right? So it's literally a mirror, right? You could probably burn somebody if you reflected the sun correctly. All right, let's go through comments. We'll do the rest of our buffing. Okay, this is, who we got in here? We got, let me start at the top of my, let's see, sorry guys, I need to go through. Okay, we got, all right, here's Rex. Here's our favorite guy so far. Okay, Pocket Panther in here. I polished my entire truck. Finding anyone that shares this information is very difficult. Okay, well, again, I don't gatekeep, man. It's like making furniture. It's like spraying lacquer. You guys want to know any of the stuff. Like, we're the people that do all the super shiny brass. We do the super shiny paint, you know, you can see your makeup in. Chicks love this stuff. We don't gatekeep. There's plenty of pie for everyone. So you guys ask for any content. I'll be, again, put in the comment. If you guys want certain kinds of content about painting, making furniture, doing brass work, metal work, whatever, just let me know, and I'll continue to make videos like this for you guys and do it in the live stream format. Okay, but that's pretty cool. I polished my entire truck. This is Pocket Panther. Great name, man. Okay, I polished my entire truck, and finding anyone that shares this information is very difficult. So again, trying to help you guys out, and it helps me out too. Okay, Chad Duncan, 2854. Could you use it to polish gun barrels? 100%. Yeah, absolutely. So gun barrels are probably gonna be made of steel, I would imagine. I'm I'm not, you know, an expert on metallurgy or anything like that, but I imagine a barrel's got to be pretty damn hard. And basically, they go. I mean, I'm talking about yes, you could, right? So you'd want to use. You could use probably a similar wheel like we have here. I think it's called a Sciacin wheel, and then you could use different kinds of. Give me 5 minutes, Al. You could use. There's different kinds of compounds specifically for steel. Let's see. Let me look at my handy dandy chart here. Let's see if I got some for you guys. Let's see. Okay, so steel, you'd want to use what's called emery, right? E-M-E-R-Y. Emery is going to be the polish you're going to want to start with. Then you're going to work your way up from steel. You're going to use something called, let's see here. There is rouge. You're going to use what's called a white rouge. And I used to have the white rouge. And I don't have it right now. But so the compounds you would use for steel obviously going to be different than the compounds you'd use for brass, right? You're going to need something that's much more aggressive to get that polish. But yeah, you can absolutely polish up steel. Stainless steel polishes up beautifully, by the way. You can literally make it look like a mirror. It's pretty sick. So good question. Okay, Pocket Panther back in here. Polishes keep this shit super secret. Yeah, no secrets here, guys. So again, like hit the subscribe and follow the channel. And yeah, I just try and show people. So I'm not the best content creator, man, but I just want to show you guys I'm a fucking normal guy. I just make furniture. I do real work all day long, and you can do it in America. You can make money. It's not like you got to be some broke guy that hates his job doing this shit. It's a lot of fun, and anybody can do it. Okay, Will. 916 says, pretty man, thanks, Will, I appreciate it. Son's in here. Son, man, glad you're here, dude. Son follows me, helped me out for a long time. Son's a great part of the stream. All right, Pocket Panther, do you use anything special to clean off the compound between stages? No. So all I do is I just use rags, right? I'm going to use rags to wipe off all of this stuff, just kind of through the stages. And as I get compound on, you get all this black shit all over it, I'll just wipe it off. And then I continue to polish. And I don't know that it even really matters, to be quite honest with you. But you just keep the surface as clean as you can in between your buffing stages. And it just keeps clean. But yeah, no special products. Just use a rag or here, hold on, guys. Another thing you use we use a lot of shop towels. So stuff like shop rags, they're going to be like a little bit more stout than regular like paper towels. But yeah, there's no special product that I use as far as a rag goes. So, okay, this is some non-Jewish guy. Okay, man. So you throw it in space so we can use it for a telescope. Yeah, right. Again, yeah, lots of reflective quality. So okay, so I think that takes care of the comments for now. So let's go over to the other side. We'll wrap up our polishing of this particular, these are called back plates, this particular back plate, and then we'll be done with polishing brass. It's not very difficult. The most important thing, guys, is that you flat sand that brass. You get all the imperfections out that you can, and again, you could go up to like 1,500, 2,000, 3,000 grit sanding, and it makes the buffing process just that much easier. So, okay, turn our wheel back on. Again, just using the old clamp. So now we're going to use the softer side, and I guess let's get a good angle over here, something like that. There you go. Kind of different to do this with a camera. Okay, so this is our softer side. Again, touch is not going to kill you. Get our rouge, right? So this is jeweler's rouge, right? So this is going to be something that's going to get out a lot of your micro scratches. Okay, so again, just like before, a little bit on here. Again, you see it's turning red. Back, I'm going to try to get myself in here just a tiny bit. Now, same deal here. The thing you just want to look out for is look out for heat, kind of something, and then make sure that your wheel, as you're getting on there, doesn't grab this little fling it on there. It'll scare the shit out of you, right? Then you have to go change your shorts. Okay. Let's get just one side. We'll show you guys just one little spot here, kind of where the clarity is going to. Rag again here. One of the reasons I like doing this in real time is like if you make mistakes, you gotta like figure it out. Like you gotta say, okay, well here I fucked this up. Now here's how I fix it. I think it's kind of important that we do that kind of stuff because again, everything is so produced. They show you how to do stuff, but it's like when I teach people how to make furniture, I always teach people that, you know, like anybody can build furniture, right? But not anybody can fix furniture. Like fixing furniture is like a thing of the past. It's just, everything's got to be done in one, you know, one fell swoop. That's just not really how it works. So, okay. So now we're moving up in clarity. And again, we've just hit one side here. It's kind of hard to see if I'm being completely honest with you, but it's there. So I'm going to continue polishing some more, and we'll keep working on getting this, the clarity up on this thing, and then we'll be done. So go to a different rouge. I guess I didn't do it correctly. I'll show you guys that we're going to clean. Thing up here. We're going to clean our wheel in between different parts. You can see all the stuff fly off here. Next rouge. Let's see if I can give you guys the exact name of this stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, it's not white rouge. There's I'm not sure what yeah, I guess it's just jeweler's rouge. All right, so back to our part here. Show me the shop again. There we go. Give you guys a better angle. So we're just trying to chase out any of those additional scratches that we can. Try to keep everything in frame for you guys. Oh yeah, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Thanks. This stuff's getting hot, 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 hot. So, come back around here, guys. We're super close, super close. Now I got people coming to the shop, so I got to kind of wrap this thing up. Okay, so I get this thing done here. Wipe this thing up really well. You know, we could do just a slightly better polish, but so we have a brilliant mirror, okay? And again, oops, I'm gonna get my head in this thing so I can get myself in the camera. There we go. Okay, again, so there's still a little bit in there, but the last thing I want to show you guys before we end this particular live stream is how we protect it, okay? There's a couple different ways you can protect it. So one of the things we can do is here, we're gonna come off of our tripod here. I'm gonna show you guys the products that we use for lacquering our brass, just so you guys know it. Not that everyone's gonna be able to do this, but I'm gonna show you guys anyway. So the product that we use, so we got a full-on paint company here, okay? So we have, so I can flip this thing around here, the right button here, okay? So we got a full-on spray booth. We spray constantly. We're always spraying. Got tons of paint, lots of different kinds of products here. So the product, get back in here, get away from the compressor. The product that we use, get this thing over here, guys. Just 1 second, close this door here, try and help you guys out with the noise. So, all right, so more comments. Show you guys the last part of our brass process here. Okay, okay, do you use anything special to clean? Okay, I already answered your question, Panther. This is, we got Sun is here, says nice. Dumb question, can you polish aluminum and stainless to be mirror shine? Yes, you can. Aluminum I found to be kind of difficult, but yes, you can. It takes quite a bit of work. Stainless steel, absolutely. Look at all the Cybertrucks, guys. A lot of people have their Cybertrucks polished, right? Because Cybertruck, the panels are all made of stainless steel, and it's actually very popular. You know, so it's a thing. Stainless steel absolutely can be polished up to be beautiful. And the good thing about it is that it's pretty much impervious to water. You know, so when water hits it, it doesn't cause it to corrode or rust or anything like that, which is nice. But anyway, so metal oxidizes, right? Brass will absolutely oxidize if you don't. Here's what the original looks like, right? That's what the original looks like. It's oxidized. And then here's the one that we just polished, right? So you guys see the clarity is significantly better. I see the phone, right? So the clarity is wildly different. This one is actually oxidized. Now, in order to protect this stuff, what you gotta do is you gotta put some kind of lacquer on it, right? So if you guys are, some of you guys are like product whores, you look at all this stuff. T77C, as in cat or Charlie, 55. Okay, so we actually we'll put this stuff, we put washers back behind it, right, to get it up off the ground, and then you spray the top of it with a light coat of lacquer, and it will actually make the finish look not as brilliant, but it's the only way you can protect it. Lacquer is not a perfectly transparent product. It's what's called the 100 sheen, the stuff that we use, so it is wildly transparent, but it's not 100%. So the other thing you can do, which I wanted to show you guys, which is a little more common, right, and if you're just doing a couple of pieces, what works really good is paste wax, right? Just regular old furniture paste wax works, I mean, surprisingly well. I use it for a lot of different pieces. If I'm only shipping out like 3 or 4 of these back plates, that's what I'll do. So what I do for that is you can just take, let me jump over here, guys. You can just take, again, use one of these little shop rags or any kind of rag for that matter. Take a little bit of this paste wax, just throw it in there. And we got on, something kind of like that, right? Looks like it blew your nose. You can take this thing and just like you're gonna wax the car, and you can use a wheel if you want, doesn't really matter, but you can do it by hand. And just kind of work that stuff in there so you get a little bit of a nice coating. And then just like anything else, you would let it dry for, I think they said, what's it, like 10 minutes, something like that? We'll let it dry for just a couple of seconds and we'll wipe it all off. But what you're doing is you're working that wax into the pores of the metal, and it's going to keep this stuff from oxidizing for a long time. It works really well. So again, put this stuff on here like so. And again, you can see all the black shit that comes off as you're polishing. And get ourselves, I'm not gonna let it dry very much, but get yourself the idea behind wax is that you let it dry, it creates essentially a film, and then you wipe off the residue that didn't harden. So wipe it off again like so. I'm learning, guys. I'm trying to do this as best I can. Make sure I get people in the action as we're doing it. And again, sorry, Nazar is cutting out credenza parts and vanity parts today. So I'm always telling people, if you want to get in the furniture game, everyone wants to be a custom furniture maker, which is awesome. But the real way to make money is make the same thing over and over again. So I make about 50 of the same credenza every year. I make about 50 of the same vanity every year. And then the money that I make from making the same thing all the time, I can then make all the fun shit, like your custom projects, right? So anyway, so I didn't let it dry. I put it on here, and I guess we go back the way we did before. So again, the clarity, you can see the hazing from the polish. Once this stuff hardens, we'll be able to get all that hazing out. But again, just like I showed you guys before, the clarity is significantly better. It's a fantastic product. But that's basically how you guys do this. It's not rocket science, but it does take having the right products and showing you guys exactly how we do it. What are the things that we buy? What are the techniques that we use to get this brass really flat and then to run it through our polisher? So again, as this stuff hardens up, the hazing will go away, quite a bit. But again, you can just see all the swirling from the paste that I put on here. So gotta let this stuff dry. So anyway, we got more comments in here. We'll go through comments real quick. I don't know if people want more content about this today. So let's see what we got here, and we'll probably end the stream. All right, Son, I answered your question. Son, I think the Runge car guy uses stainless. Actually, now that I think about it, yep. Pocket Panther says, yeah, I can polish 80 metal to mirror finish. Oftentimes you have to start with sandy to get it. Yeah, and again, yeah, Panther, you're saying the same thing I've been saying. You got to start with a high grit before moving through different compounds. Yep, 100%. So, all right, Josh Mansky's back. Josh, man, glad to see you, dude. Okay, give away all your secrets. Yeah, I'm not giving away secrets, man. Well, I mean, I don't want to preach here, guys, but I was always told, go to college. You don't go to college, you're a fucking loser. And I never could sit in class, I never could do all that stuff. I just got really good at making furniture and making stuff. And it turned into where I always made good money. And I think more people need to see this content because more people are going to need to make shit, right? We're going to need to work with our hands. And again, if you're really good at what you do, you'll do fine as an office worker, or a computer guy, or a thinker. But most of us just don't have that. I never had that. And I want people to know that, like, you can do this stuff. You can do this work. We've taught a lot of people how to do things at this company. And that's what I do. That's my job at this point, is to just teach other people how to do shit and make furniture for people. And yeah, just show people how to do things, So that's my mission at this point. Okay, so Josh says, keep it up. Cool, man. Sun says the real secret is consistency, hard work. Yeah, I think so. I think so. So anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna end the stream today. I appreciate everyone hanging out, and I hope you guys learned something. If you want to know more stuff, like I said, just hit me an email, shoot me a message, throw some in the comments. I'm happy to talk about things. We're talking about a little bit of current events and politics at noon today. So we're gonna talk about Pam Bondi and what a horrible person she is and how she needs to go. And then we're building desks. I got content coming out about desks. I got content coming out about big 22-foot crotch mahogany tables or walnut burl tables. We're making all kinds of fun stuff here at the Resplendent Crow. So help me out. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Go check out theresplendentcrow.com. Just see what it is that we make. And again, I'm not trying to sell you guys nothing. None of that's happening. So you guys have a fantastic day. We'll do this again later.